scream at them. They love that fella. Now, the turpentine logs. Now these are things that are right here, and they're all around the whole house. They're up there, and I bought them off Al. And for years I told him, Al, I want to buy some of those. Oh, no, I'm not selling any of those logs. So he said to me one day, coyly, he said, want to buy some logs? I said, fuck yeah, of course I want to buy some logs. He goes, I said, why do you want me to buy logs? He said, well, you know Jack Keogh, I've got to pay a lawyer. So every time he had a court case with John Weller, save that bloke's life, oh my God. Anyway, every time he had a court case, which was dozens, he'd say to me, oh, you want some logs? And I go, as a matter of fact, I do want some logs, Al. I never asked him why ever again. He was the most loving and beautiful fellow. One thing that of lately really impressed me with Al was, besides his humour, was his ability to receive the love of his children. I mean, man, that guy, those children love that bloke, and he was so nice to him, and he was so washed with love. And even recently when I visited him in that dreadful place up there, and I said to him, bloody hell, Al, I don't know about you, but how do you get those children to love you so much? He said, well, that's the proudest thing I've got in my life is those children. And I thought, I was so absolutely thrilled to be a part of his existence with those fabulous young people. Of course, one more thing. As we had 4 days of wild and crazy life at the property at a blues festival, and of course he had a caravan and a George Foreman. Now he was very happy with himself that he invented the George Foreman. He said, why have plates and all that heating and carrying on when you can just turn that on one for 4 days? He was a genius. But after a couple of days I had to go home, and Al didn't go home, he stayed there. But on Easter Tuesday, if there's such a day, he comes into the green garage. And he's got his hair like he stuck his finger in a PowerPoint. He had his clothes all dishevelled. He looked like a hobo. And he'd been up for about, 3 days solid, screaming with laughter, having a wonderful time. And I hear this kerfuffle. I go down and I said, what's going on? And the girl said to me, this guy's insisting that the blueberries are organic. I mean, for God's sake, Al, you've been on a thing for 4 days and you think the blueberries are going to be organic. I don't know what difference that makes to you. So I insist that everybody get a drink. And I'd like to make a little toast to Al. Al, the dancing machine. I love that guy. A most loved and respected and decent man. I'd like everybody to raise a glass for Al Yarra. Cheers. I'd like to invite his magnificent and beautiful ex-wife Sharon for a few words.
Sad but funny. Yeah. Very well said.
Hey, mate. My name's Sharon, and I was married to Big Al for about more than 20 years. I'd just like to share some of Alan's background with you. He was one of 3 children, and he grew up in Kingsgrove. His mother was a single mother, as her father left them when he was very young. They were very young in life. His brother passed on a long time ago, and he lost touch with his sister. But his mother was really kind, most gentle, beautiful person. And if ever the father should call in, which Alan might have only seen him half a dozen times in his life, also, not many, his mother would make him a cup of tea and make him feel really welcome to come into the home. So Alan grew up very happy and in a free-spirited way in Kingsgrove. And we met when he was 27, a bricklayer, and I was 25 and did secretarial work in Sydney. In the next 2 years we got to know each other, and I really came to believe in him. He could do and make anything possible, and he did. He was a great mechanic, a builder, was very intellectual. And we were married at the Swifts at Darling Point in the Riches sandstone castle overlooking the harbour, and had our reception at the gazebo in King's Cross near the LAMA fountain looking over the harbour bridge and Opera House. Very beautiful day. We bought a little house in Warrenora in Sydney. I don't know if you know Warrenora, but it's a beautiful valley and the Warrenora River passed through it. And our house was like a little hippie house or a lean-to shack, and you could see the cracks as you looked down through the floorboards, but we absolutely loved it. It was our palace in the most beautiful environment of trees, cockatoos, white cockatoos walking all day, most beautiful community of young family, little kids, parks, lovely walks. Santa would come up the river each Christmas with show bags for the children, and little RSL club was nice there to go to. And we really loved it. And in this time, just starting out, things are always pretty tight financially. And I'd just like to go over some of the things Alan did. He started off as a salesman in the Yellow Pages. He sold grandfather clocks. He had the collapsible box company, which is a box that folded down, and that was $1 million making idea. He had Bright Media, which was a signage company where he'd make neon signs in a box for retail shops. But then he came across jeans, and with these jeans he opened a shop, just short-term lease, in really good positions in Sydney, like Pitt Street, George Street, Castlereagh Street. And the people he employed were clean for 6 months but ex-drug, serious drug addicts, because he wanted them to give them a chance to have work and create a new life. And I think they all did really well, and he was greatly, had so much gratitude and respect, and they were very fond, very, very fond of him. But unfortunately, one of the shops we had, and we only had one or two at the time, was in the street next to the Queen Victoria building. And at that time, they were renovating the Queen Victoria building into the beautiful building it is